in the other direction. So I thought that was a good idea by Anna Lowe.
A lovely ball played that time by Anna Lowe down this near sideline. Given chase as Fia Johnson runs out of room. It goes off a shin guard of a HighPoint defender. In fact, it goes off of Elise Lecomte. Here the toss in by Day looking for Anna Lowe. And you're talking about Lowe and Day trying to come together on that connection. You'd have the senior connection there if that was able to come through here on this afternoon. Here's Day battling in the corner off of HighPoint. Toss in for the Chanticleers. This play is down in the corner here in front of the Chanticleer scoreboard, in front of the American flag. Toss in to Lowe. Lowe, if she can find a little bit of, or excuse me, Johnson, if she could have spun around and found a little bit of room, would have had a chance there. Here's Phillips kind of creeping away from her position. We'll tap that one off to the far sideline. Giving chases Darby.
Before the broadcast, I meant to wish you good luck telling the difference between Lowe and also Fia Johnson with the 16 and the 10 and the fact that they look identical.
Oh, it's absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. As here, HighPoint will try to find possession. Man, they've had a hard time, Ryan, today of maintaining any kind of a threat. I mean, they are able to get to the ball, and then quickly the Chanticleers have been able to counter right back and take over possession.
And that's what you like to see from this Coastal Carolina team. Come out, put the pressure on them, and continue that pressure. And we saw that the other day. How about with the women's game right here against Campbell when they went out to that 1-0 lead, and they didn't stop. And even when they had the 2-0 lead, they kept pushing, kept pushing. You like to see that, especially here if you're out to watch this game.
Day with a nifty move and a fancy pass that time from Kelly. Cross field to Stern. Stern right foot into the box, and Kelly tries to battle off a defender, cannot. Here comes Johnson. Johnson watched that one off the top of the toe. Kelly tried to pounce on that ball. Here's Janae Whitaker. And HighPoint upfield they go with it. Trying to seal that one off as Wagner in a big collision that time, and the ball will sail out of play, but not before a whistle blows. And that looked like a linebacker coming over the middle trying to take a wide receiver away from the ball that time. That was insane.
And I think what you're going to see from this HighPoint team, and we saw a little bit of it right there, behind the midfield stripe, they're going to be very patient in their approach. Good teams are like this in any sport. Even though they may be behind in the early going, if they're patient and consistent with what they're doing, like you saw right there, they're going to come back and they're going to answer offensively. And how about this? An opportunity sets up for them.
This one will curl its way to the box, headed out of harm's way by the black shirts. Spinning right foot that time from HighPoint's Jenny Butler. Couldn't get it through traffic. Now a left foot this time, and that one's going to wind up on top of the net. And from this distance, it looked like maybe it was going to curl underneath the crossbar. And instead, it just does sail over. A matter of inches that time, separating HighPoint from taking the lead and staying in a scoreless tie.
Tell you what, Coastal's lucky that did not come a little bit below that crossbar, because it looked like Megan Spencer was a little off balance back there for them, whether she couldn't read it with the sunlight or whatever the case may be. She was on the ground when the ball was at its highest point, almost at the goal. So Coastal dodged the ball right there, and that just shows how good this HighPoint team is. When you have the opportunity to clear it, you got to get it out.
And here Fia Johnson tries her luck, sending it down the field, trying to get Kelly sprung free, but that one's going to eventually be knocked right back out in front of the HighPoint bench. A throw in upcoming for the Chanticleers with Anna Lowe. Lowe gets it in, headed by the defense, and again out of play. Chanticleer toss in.
And Coastal's doing such a good job. We've seen this back-to-back possessions, not trying to do too much, just marching down the field slowly. And they have the type of offensive players that if they just get it around the 18 or the 6-yard box, they could put it in the net.
Here's Day. Crosses in front, easily played that time by HighPoint, and they were trying to find Whitaker. And Whitaker now going to try to battle this time with Cammie Skladany, and good body work that time by Skladany as she was able to wall off any kind of attack from Janae Whitaker.
That's a matchup I'll keep my eye on the rest of the game. That's going to be a good one, Cammie and Whitaker.
Well, you know what we're seeing a lot of early from the Chanticleers is a lot of physical play. I mean, Megan Wagner, reckless abandon going across the field that time and causing that collision. I mean, a clean play. She gets whistled for the foul, but at the same time, you kind of like to see the aggressive play thus far, as that one put on net and easily handled that time by Cockle-Reese, and she'll send it back out of harm's way.
Looked like that might have been the orange cleated wonder.
Why wouldn't it be?
That was a strong kick, though. That was from distance.
It was.
It would have been nicer if she could get it towards the 6-yard box, but I didn't know Maddie Phillips had that in her. That was a strong kick. I'd like to see that.
Oh, we knew she had it in her.
We did. Who am I fooling? We knew it. We knew it.
Let's go.
Just trying to stay unbiased here. You know what? We knew Maddie had that in
her. Just approaching the 27-minute marker here in the first half, and still playing to a scoreless draw thus far. HighPoint wearing their home whites here this afternoon, or excuse me, away whites. Chanticleers in their home blacks, as we mentioned, coming into this broadcast. HighPoint with the black and purple script. This one towards the net, easily played by Spencer, right into the arms.
And it seems like Coastal on a 4-game winning streak and winning 6 of their last 7. It seems like the more, going back to last year, the more this women's soccer team gets it together here at Coastal Carolina, I think the more our broadcast falls apart. It's kind of working in both directions.
We've been falling apart before we stepped on the air. Who are we kidding? So this one is high in the air, arcing over towards Lowe. Lowe trying to win a battle here, and she does. Great job by Lowe sliding down to the turf to keep that one up towards Ashley Day, and Day takes one to the left orbital bone. 26:01 remains in the first half. That's right.
There you go.
Orbital. This one played here by HighPoint's Jackie Kessler on the near side. Nice job. Wagner steps into it looking for Kelly, and he will elude her. Janae Whitaker, we've called her name a number of times, finding the right spot on the field here early on. Whistle blows. HighPoint will get a kick here.
And I think one thing we'll notice as this game goes on, Coastal has not sent in any subs yet to this point, but they do have a lot of depth on their bench and the ability to put in a lot of different players. Obviously, you can get some size in there and also some speed in there as well. So Coastal has options coming off the bench, and I'm sure this HighPoint team has just as many.
This ball struck well by Elise Lecomte, and dangerously it flutters in toward the net, but a nice job again by the defense for the Chanticleers as Skladany was able to delete any kind of threat. Day, nice toe tap that time. Darby Kelly going to try to elude HighPoint's Jenny Butler, could not, and she falls down to the turf. Now played to the middle that time by Jackie Kessler, had nobody there, and the Chanticleers can breathe a little sigh of relief this time as they will try to recollect.
And here's the type of pressure HighPoint can put on you. You have to clear it and get it past midfield.
I don't know if this is true or not, but it just feels like the intensity is ratcheted up a few notches here coming into this game. I mean, or in the early moments of this first half at least, there's been a high intensity level, much more so than the other night when Campbell was in town. I mean, there's a lot at stake. A HighPoint team that's come in 9 straight games. They have gone unbeaten.
And this game's going to get interesting. I can promise you that as the players go at it a little bit more. See Ken Whitaker and Cami Skladany going at it. But you look at this game when you get towards the end of the second half. This will be an interesting game. I was right on my prediction the other night, and I believe I will be right on this one again. Obviously, you're going to need, I think, again, more than one goal to win this game. HighPoint has that offense that can put the ball into the net multiple times. And on the other hand, Coastal does as well. They've been down here a few times, this HighPoint Panthers team, and every single time they've been down there, it's not as much as they put a lot of balls on frame, but they just orchestrate so well together.
Here's Janae Whitaker. She finds the ball, but is unable to make a clean play. Crosser out in front of the net. Nice job by Spencer to pounce on it, and she'll send it away.
Can't you just tell, though, that if you make one mistake, this HighPoint team is going to capitalize on it? You could just get the feel from when that ball's in that 18-yard box.
Right, and so far Coastal's been able to come up with an answer for it. Now a chance for the Chanticleers, but that ball squirmed free and right into the awaiting mitts of the goalkeeper, Cockle-Reese. We failed to mention the starting lineups for the Chanticleers as we went through the HighPoint lineup here today. Nice job, nice ball played by Day, looking for Kelly. Kelly with a cross to the middle of the 18 box, but nobody is there. Camille Christie with a header right back up towards Day. Christie is there battling for it. She had a big-time night the other day against the Campbell Camels, trying to replicate that performance here. Toss in quickly by Day. Looks down to Fia Johnson. Johnson, this one towards the middle. Skitters off the top of a foot. Now Kind of an awkward-looking shot that time from Stern as she's able to cleat it towards the net, and it's played by Cockleries.
Good possession again by the Shants down this end. A lot of the action is happening on this side of the field, and what they're doing, not playing with a lot of speed down there, just in tight spaces and doing fundamentally the right thing to win those throw-ins on the sideline. Haven't seen them win a corner kick yet, but they're very close to it a few times. They've been within a few feet of actually winning a corner kick down there.
Here's Day backing down a defender low. Out towards the top of the box, trying to get Kelly on the run, but this one's going to cross over the chalk towards the High Point bench. 21:49 remains first half, and here's Lowe, the transfer from Air Force, who will toss it in.
And the one thing I noticed as this season progressed for the Shants, in the beginning of the season, they would kind of kick it sporadically without a purpose. Now you see that they're settling up, and they're finding who they want to go to before they actually kick it in just a random direction. And obviously that has to do with a lot of the seniors on the team, but also the underclassmen are figuring it out as well.
Now moving forward, Taylor Parker. Parker almost got taken down on the play, but she stays alive as Maddie Phillips with a good aggressive play. And that time, Anna Lowe, how busy has she been here in half number one? Good left foot down the near sideline looking for Kelly. Has her. A little bit of room there. Kelly going to notch that one over towards Johnson. Is quickly kicked out of play across the line. And a toss in for the Chanticleers. It'll come from Anna Lowe.
And Anna, one of those other seniors. And one thing we didn't mention about the seniors, we talked about it a little bit earlier, and how they've seen a lot as a senior class. Seen 3 different coaches here as seniors. That doesn't happen a lot in college athletics, and they've handled it pretty well.
Johnson, this one somehow finds its way through a couple of players and almost got it through to Kelly. Now, here comes High Point right back down the field. It's Janae Whitaker with a little bit of time and some space now. Settles it down at the corner of the box. Nice move around Cami Skladany. Shot on net, a big save, Megan Spencer.
Woo! Whitaker with the juke move right there on Cami Skladany. How about that footwork? And Megan Spencer, that's a great save, because we had a perfect angle right here. She did not have a good view of that ball. That was instant reaction by Megan Spencer.
Yeah, she had to make the right guess, and boy, did she ever, as she goes down to the turf and gets enough of it to deflect it out of play. It will wind up being a corner kick, the first of the afternoon for either squad, but it's going to come here from High Point. Here is the cross out towards the near side of the net. Played by High Point, and good job by the Chanticleers to get it out of there. And here's Stern. Could be looking at a one-on-one if she can keep it in, but it's just out in front of her nose and out of play. Good hustle, though, that time by Stern. If she was able to settle that ball down and keep it in play, boy, she would have had all sorts of space and room down on that far sideline.
That's one of the trickier things. You want to drop a lot of players back defensively, but at the same time, when you have that counterattack, she was by herself just a bit. She has a lot of speed, though, Christina Stern, on the outside for the Shants, and she'll display that throughout this game. Here's
Whitaker for High Point. Left toe tap, far sideline. This one played towards the middle, and the Chanticleers will take that apart. And this ball is going to find its way out of play unless it's going to be raced to by Taylor Parker, and she runs out of room. First substitution of the afternoon is Ashley Day will come out, and Cisco Okoko will come in. And Okoko, the goal scorer, the first goal scorer of the night, a couple of evenings ago here at CCU Soccer Field against Campbell. Her second goal of the year, assisted by Fia Johnson, who picked up assist number 5.
That's a good defensive play by High Point right there to take it away from Okoko. But right away, you see Okoko coming off the bench, fresh legs. That's why you bring these players in off the bench playing fast. Although a player like Ashley Day who comes off the field, you better believe she'd want to stay out there the entire game, because you don't feel like you're tired. When you come back off the bench, you realize that you're at a whole nother level.
Yeah, exactly. You saw a little bit of a burst there from Okoko. Kind of like we talked about, the intensity level at the start of this contest was just tremendous. And Okoko providing a little bit of that here as the ball will tap around a couple of times off Skladany's head. And now Phillips trying to get to that one. Right foot, middle of the box, played by High Point. Here a shot on net that time. It'll come from the right foot of Danielle Schleppler.
And a good stand right there, a defensive win for Coastal Carolina's defense right there. Cami Skladany with a few great headers, and that defensive line playing so well. Megan Wagner, we talked about her all year long. Freshman playing great for Coastal Carolina. And as much as Coastal has been able to display their offense against teams like Campbell and Presbyterian, well, hey, now it's the defense's turn to step up and show what they have to offer heading into postseason play.
And it is interesting looking at how these two teams have gotten where they are right now. Here's a Coco. Tries to get that one towards the net. That ball is free. And somehow Cockle-Reese is able to make an easy play on it. Easier than it looked initially. I mean, that ball was played well by Coco towards the middle, and Kelly was there. The ball was kind of rattling around a little bit. Cockle-Reese was able to calmly step up and make the play. Here's Lowe. Has a Coco out in front. Good throw in that time from Anna Lowe. Completely onside. Left foot towards the middle looking for Kelly. Here's a Coco. Settles it back. Cuts across. In on the defender. Good job winning a battle there. A Coco like a machine plowing through this High Point defense, and this ball popped up towards Anna Lowe. Alongside Shepler for High Point. A Coco could have a chance to put this one towards the middle. She does. A line drive. Ball is free again off the mitts of Cockle-Reese, but nobody there in front.